Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're bringing you another outfit guide. Today we're going to be doing Charley Waite, which is Kevin Costner's character from Open Range, a pretty dang good Western that I think a lot of people haven't seen and definitely should because it's a good movie in my opinion. So it's a decent looking cowboy outfit and I definitely wanted to recreate it and I think I did a good job. So let's go through it. But first we're going to start off with some weapons that this character is known to use in the movie. Alright, so for starters, Kevin Costner's character in this movie is most commonly seen wielding and using a variant of a Colt single-action army revolver. At times in the movie, he's seen using the one with the 5.5-inch barrel, which is commonly known as an artillery model, and then at other times with a 7.5-inch barrel, which is also known as the cavalry model. Most of these are seen with dark wood grips. Every once in a while, you'll see one in the movie with a black, what appears to be plastic grip, but obviously that wouldn't be very accurate for the time. So I'm just going to go with the mahogany finished grips. And then the ones he has in the movie are what you'd consider a factory finish. They're blued steel, and then the frame is case hardened, so it has a much cooler look than we can put it in the game. I really wish they'd add case hardening in the game because so many iconic Western firearms featured that, and it has a very distinct look that's hard to replicate. Since we can't really replicate it all that well, and I've tried with different engravings and stuff, and I don't really love the way it looks, we're just going to keep it simple with all blued steel because his in the movie are obviously blued steel minus the case hardening. So that's what we're going to do for handguns, and since he does not ever in the movie have two holsters, even though there are scenes where he dual wields, we're only going to have one of these for the outfit. Alright, and then at times in the movie, you'll see Costner's character, as well as basically everyone else in the movie, using a J. Stevens & Company 1878 coach gun, and so the obvious best replica we have in the game is the double barrel shotgun. And most of them in the movie are actually long barrel variants, longer than we can actually make in the game, so I put the long barrel on it, but take that as you will. And then they all appear to have either a blued or browned finish primarily, with what was common at the time for brass trigger and sights. So for Charley's, I'm basing it off the scene where he shoots the mirror in the bar, and in that scene I believe it looked more like this, so that's why I went with the browned barrel frame hammer and trigger guard, and then the brass trigger and sight. Definitely an excellent weapon, and if you've seen the movie you'll know that it gets used extensively in the final gunfight. So then finally we're going to be doing the Lancaster repeater to fill in for the Winchester 1873 that is commonly used in this film. Again, most of the characters of the film are going to use it at one point, but Charley uses it in the final shootout scene quite a bit, so that's why we're including it here. The one he uses has a pretty dark wood finish, so I went with the mahogany finish, and then seems to have a pretty worn down blued steel look to it. So I actually went with the brown steel because I think it matches the color in the movie the best. Obviously when this was sold, the standard would have been blued steel. I actually have a Winchester 1886 rifle that looks very, very much like this. Obviously the loading gate's a little bit different than the 1873, and there's a few other differences including caliber. It looks very much like this, except for, like I said, mine came in the blued steel and it's obviously still blued. But with all that in mind, this is the final weapon we're going to be looking at for this character, so let's just go to look at the outfit itself. So here we have the outfit for Charley Waite, and honestly, doesn't it look good? Like, I was skeptical when I first started it off because, you know, the game has limitations as far as a lot of clothing pieces go, but I think it actually turned out looking really good. Now, it's not perfect, but it looks very, very close. So as far as facial hair and everything went, that's where it's the least perfect. I went with the long slicked back dark brown hair, and then I had to go with the goatee because he's got a goatee of sorts. It's smaller than this, as most film movies and even history, you're going to find that they're not this bushy usually, but this is the only option in the game that kind of matches it, so that's why I went with this one, and again I went with the dark brown variant. So that's our best attempt at trying to look like Kevin Costner hair-wise. So now let's just go through the clothing pieces one at a time. So in the end I decided to go with this light tan variant of the Liberty hat because A, he wears a hat that, the color-wise, this matches very well to the hat he wears in the movie. Now the one he has in the movie, the front of it is shaped very similar to this, but of course the top part where the head goes in, I'm not a hat expert so I don't know the different names, but you know what I'm talking about, is kind of crimped down in the movie. That's not really an option in this game. It's an option in the single player story. I believe the hat's called the Bulldogger hat, and that one looks basically perfect, but for some reason that's not available in online. So my choice was between this Liberty hat, which I did choose, and then this Caldwell hat, which the top looks better, but then the like front and sides look worse, plus it's taller and it looks a little bit more exaggerated, so I don't think it looks nearly as good with this outfit. So yeah, for the hat, the light tan variant of the Liberty hat is the one one that I think looks the best with this outfit. Now for bandanas, really any white bandana will do. He wears a rather large bandana in the movie that sits pretty loose, and it's like a dirtyish white, kind of really, really light gray color. There's nothing perfect for that in the game, but I think this bandana works passively well. I tried all the white ones, and I think this one's probably my favorite just because it hangs the loosest, and the one he wears in the movie where it hangs really loose. So that's really what I decided the bandana off of. But that's the bandana. And then I actually had to buy a shirt with some gold. I think it was 1 gold bar, so it's not like it was that expensive, just for this outfit, which is the gray frumpy shirt. Now mind you, it's kind of a silly looking shirt just in general, but for this outfit, it fits basically perfectly. Because when I looked at the outfit online, I was like, oh crap. The only thing I don't think I'm going to be able to replicate is the shirt, because he has a real loose fitting shirt that's not tucked in very tight. So I was pretty nervous about that until I got on and I went back to the store. I didn't just go through the stuff I owned. I went to the general store and I went down there and started going through the shirts, and I actually found this one, and it looks a lot like the one he wears in the movie. So that's why I went with this one. If you don't have this, there's like a gray variant of the Union shirt that I guess works passively well, but really for this outfit to work, I think the frumpy shirt is a must. So that's the shirt I went with. For the weapon equipment, I went with the light brown variant of the Bandit gun belt, and again, I did not put an offhand holster or a buckle on it because he doesn't have that stuff in the movie. It just looks basically exactly like this. So this belt actually fits really well with Costner's character from the movie. For the pants, I went with the brown studded pants because he wears brown studded pants in the movie. They look basically perfect, so nothing really to add there. No real good substitution for these pants. Then for the chaps, I went with these light, but not the lightest brown variant of the Batwing chaps that are available. Again, these ones cost gold. Not very much. I think they're 2 gold bars or maybe 3, but there's, again, not really a good substitute for these, so that's why I had to get these ones. And they do look really great. They look basically exactly like the chaps he wears in the movie. So that's why I went with them. For the boots, I went with the brown worn Roper's boots, and I went with these more wore down version because the ones he wears in the movie are kind of wore out. They don't look very new. So that's why I went with this variant, and I think they look perfect. And then for the spurs, kind of the same thing. I went with these brown Western Rider spurs. They match the ones he wears in the movie basically perfectly. So that's the outfit in its entirety, and I think you'll agree if you've ever seen the movie or if you're just comparing it to a side-by-side picture or the picture I used in the thumbnail, that looks a lot like his character. Like I said, facial hair is not perfect. The bandana he wears is a little bit bigger, but other than that, it looks really, really good. So that's why I made this one, and this is actually not a bad example of a decently historically accurate cowboy outfit, because I found plenty of old-timey pictures where this is very much what they look like. So there's no jacket or vest or anything on this, so it doesn't look nearly as fancy as a lot of outfits, but I think it looks pretty dang decent, and obviously it looks a lot like what he wears in the movie. So that's where we're going to end today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, definitely leave a like rating to show me, you, anyone else, and YouTube as a whole, you know, the omnipotent organization that they are, that it's a good video and well worth recommending and watching. And if you've done that, definitely go down to the comments section and leave any comments, questions, or concerns that you may have. Whether that's recommendations of what you'd like to see me recreate in the future, or maybe it's just improvements for this outfit, or maybe just comments about how much you like the movie Open Range, or I guess dislike it if you're crazy. One funny thing that I did forget to mention while I was doing the weapon portion of this is there is one special thing about Kevin Costner's gun in this movie. Apparently he has one of those rare Colt single action army revolvers from that time period that could actually fire 16 rounds before having to be reloaded. So that was an interesting thing. I really wish I could recreate it in this game, but that's not possible at the time. With all that in mind, if you haven't already, I definitely invite you to subscribe to the channel so you can stick around and see lots and lots of content like this going forward, because it really is something that I take an interest in and will probably continue doing for some time. With all that in mind, thanks for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.